In this video, we will deploy a React project to Google Compute Engine. We will use Nginx as a web server, install a free SSL certificate from Let's Encrypt, and also configure the HTTP to HTTPS forwarding rule. If you want to follow along with the video, you will need an DNS domain that you can add records to. For example, this is my domain, vladsave.com. And also you will need a Google Cloud project with billing enabled. We are going to start by initializing our React project using Vite. So in a new terminal, we will do npm create and then Vite at latest. And we are going to give a name to our project. Let's say React-GCE. From here, we select React. Here I'm going to do JavaScript, but for this video, it doesn't matter if you're doing TypeScript or JavaScript. Okay, so in here, now this created a new directory in here, React-GCE, and I'm going to open it in Visual Studio Code as an editor. And in here, I'm going to open a terminal in Visual Studio Code. So yeah, it was off screen for a second. I just did React terminal, new terminal. So in here, we need to do npm install to install all the dependencies. And then npm run dev. So this started the server on port 5173. So it looks just like this. If we open it in the browser, this is the boilerplate project from Vite. I'm going to slightly modify, like let's say remove these two images, remove this text over here, and change the text from here from Vite plus React. So for this, we're going to source app.jsx. So we'll remove this div. Here, let's just say React from Compute Engine. And also this paragraph I'll remove. And also this paragraph from here. And now we're left only with our header and this counter, which is what we will deploy to Compute Engine. Next, we will package our project for deployment. So back to Visual Studio Code. In here, we need to open a new terminal. And in here, we are going to run npm run build. And this will create a new directory in our project called dist for distribution. And this will be our project packaged as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files, but optimized for production. And also, if you have an environment.production file in your project, that will use the variables in there. So if we take a look in here, we'll see that there's a index.html file. Then there are some JavaScript files that are optimized. They're not meant to be read by a human, but they are supposed to run efficiently. And this is what we are going to upload to our server, the contents of this dist directory. So now we will package them as a zip archive for making it easier to upload. So here in the terminal, we will navigate to the dist directory. So here we will just create a zip archive. Let's call this one dist.zip, and then we are going to add -r for recursive, and then asterisk for adding all the files in the current directory, which is dist, to this file, dist.zip. So in here we see that we have this dist.zip that was created. Next, we will start working on the Google Cloud deployment. So we need to go to in the browser to console.cloud.google.com, which is the web UI for Google Cloud. And here I have the project that I'm going to use. It's called YT-PY with this project ID. we have to make sure billing is enabled for this project. So we search in a bar for billing projects. So here it says billing projects, billing. By the way, this is a easy way to navigate inside Google Cloud using this search bar. If you otherwise, it will take forever to find what you're looking for in the menu. There are way too many things. So once you're on this page, you need to find your project that you want to use. In my case, is this one, and make sure you have a billing account in here. This is an example of a project that doesn't have a billing account. Here it will say billing is disabled. But once you have a billing account, you'll be able to create virtual machines, reserve IPs, and so on. With that being said, we'll move on to the next step, which is reserving a static IP. So in here, we will search for IP, and we need to go to IP addresses under VPC network. So in here, we will do reserve external static IP address. We need to give it a name, let's say React. Here you need to leave it to premium. It will be important later in the deployment. Here we will select a region. In my case, I will use US West 4, which is closer to me geographically, but you need to select something that is appropriate for your users and for yourself. So we leave it unattached, and we will get this warning saying that it will be billed additionally if it's unattached, which is a good moment to take a look at the IP pricing in Google Cloud. So in here, if an IP is assigned but unused, which is what we're doing now, shortly for just a few minutes, it will cost 1.31 cents per hour. But once it's attached to a VM instance, it will be half a cent per hour, which doesn't sound like much, but when you multiply it with the number of hours in a month, it adds up. So if we do 0.05 times 24 hours in a day times, let's say 30 days, it will be $3.6 per month. So keep that in mind when you budget. Okay, with that being said, we can reserve our IP. And it should take a few seconds. Yeah, now it's good. The next step will be deploying a web server for our projects. The two main options are Nginx, which is the most popular web server at the moment, or Apache HTTP server. Both are very good options. I will use Nginx for this video. So we will go to VMs. Also in the search bar, it says VM instances, compute engine. So in here, we will create a new instance. So by default, if we use this page, new VM instance, it will just create an image with an operating system. In this case, it says Debian Linux. And we can then start installing the Nginx server, but there will be a lot of legwork that we need to do. The easier way is to use the marketplace tab in here. This will create an image already configured. So for example, in here, if we search for Nginx and we filter for free, we will see that there are a few images that we can deploy, and it will already have the Nginx server. So this one, the first one is from Google Click to Deploy, and the second one is from Bitnami. I really like the Bitnami images because they come with additional tooling installed. So this one, I think, will have a database, will have scripts for starting the server, restarting, stopping other services. It has Nginx already configured with PHP and so on. And also it has very good documentation. So if we click on that image and we scroll down here on Learn More, it will point us to the documentation for this image, and here there are a lot of guides on like how to start and stop services, reset passwords, so on. Documentation is very good quality in here. So these images are created by VMware, I think. And the other option, like if we go to Google Click to Deploy, this one doesn't have any documentation. If we go to learn more in here, it just points us to the official Nginx documentation. So you'll need to figure out more stuff if you go with this image. In my case, I will go with this one. If you want Apache web server, you just search for LAMP in here. Let's say LAMP Bitnami. And yeah, this one should do Bitnami package by LAMP. But for now, we will do Nginx. Okay, so Bitnami package for Nginx open source. We do launch. Okay, you can give it a name if you want. I think the name is fine, Nginx Stack 1. Here we need to select the same region that we created the IP in. In my case is US West 4. So let's say US 4A. A is the sub-region. Here we can choose the machine type, and we will have an estimate on how much it will cost per month. So the smallest machine is the N1 series. And this one, so F1 micro, I think is the smallest one. It costs $4.83. If we want a machine with one CPU, it will be $28 a month. So depending on how much traffic you have, you can choose a more powerful machine. In my case, I'll continue with the cheapest one. So in here, we need to set the firewall rules, allow HTTP and HTTPS traffic to our instance. And under network interfaces, for external IP, we will select React, which is the IP we just reserved. We click on done, and yeah, now it should be good. We can do deploy. And yeah, it should take a few seconds for this deployment to be created. There's this warning. It says that it's using something that is in beta, but it's not shouldn't be a problem. Okay, the deployment is ready now. So if we go back to VM instances and compute engine, again, I typed VMs in a search bar. We can see we have our VM instance Nginx stack, and there's this external IP in here that we can check, and it should already be on the internet. Yeah, and we can see it's just the default page from the deployment. Actually, we can open the documentation in a separate tab. Maybe we refer to it later. And the next step would be to add this IP to our DNS domain. In my case, I'm using Route 53 from Amazon. So my domain is vladsave.com. So in here, we simply need to create a new record. I will do the subdomain React. And we're just going to put this IP in here. Remove the HTTP, just leave the IP address. And yeah, just the default should be good. Okay. And now if we go to react.vladsave.com, this should point to that specific website. Yeah, it took a few seconds, but we get the same page. Now we can swap this page from here with our React project. So we need to upload the contents of this directory from that we created with this archive, this.zip, uploaded to the our VM and set it to be served by Nginx. So for this, we will go to the compute engine VM. Here we will connect using this SSH client from in the browser. It will take a few seconds to initialize the SSH keys. Okay, so once we are connected, we can upload the file from here. I need to go to the directory, so to the dist directory, and then we have this archived dist.zip, and we upload it. And there will be this check mark in here, so this should have uploaded it in the home directory, and we can see it right here. Now we need to transfer it to Nginx. So this will be for this deployment for this image by Bitnami. It will be in, I think, op Bitnami, and yeah, we need to go opt Bitnami, opt Bitnami, and in here there should be Nginx, like that. And there's this directory HTML, and so this one will have the page that we were looking at, the boilerplate page. And we will copy, this character is tilde, we will copy the dist.zip here in the current directory. Actually, we need to do it with sudo because we don't have permissions. And we see it in here, and now we, again with sudo, we need to unzip this file. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, it looks like unzip is not installed in this in our VM, so we need to install it. Okay, so now if we try again to unzip, it will try to override index HTML. We'll just do A in here to override all the files that it needs to, and now it should be good. Now if we go back to our page, to react.vladsave.com, and we refresh the page, we see our React project. The only thing that is left to do is figure out the HTTPS connection, the SSL certificates, and so on. So if we need to do frequent updates to our project, like make some changes locally, then rebuild, re-upload, this will get really annoying, this method with compressing the directory and uploading it and extracting it. And but there are better ways, like you can connect to this VM instance using FTP. You will need to add an SSH certificate to Compute Engine. I have a different video on how to do that. Check it out at the card at the top. Now we will generate the SSL certificate for free using Let's Encrypt. So in here, if we go back to our SSH tab, inside opt Bitnami, there is this tool called BN certificate tool, which generates free SSL certificates. This one is only in the Bitnami image, is specific to the Bitnami images. If you are using a different image with Nginx, there is a page on their website on how to do this. There's this tutorial on their website. You can follow the steps in here. I will post it in video description. But in our case, we are just going to use the BN cert tool. So we do sudo and then BN certificate tool. Let's see. Maybe like that. Okay. So here there is a warning. It says that the support for Nginx web server is limited. This will only add the SSL certificate and the renewal. It will not be able to configure the redirection from HTTP to HTTPS. But this is not a problem because we will do it manually after this. So in here we need to add the domain list, and this is the website that we configured. So this one, react.vladsave.com. Vladsave.com. Of course, in your case, it will be different because you have a different domain. We don't want to add additional domains. We say no in here. And it will tell us what changes is going to do. Is good. Here's my email address. We agree to the license agreement. And now it's generating the certificate and applying it. Okay, I think it should be done now. So if we go back to the browser, to this page, react.vladsave.com, let's see if we add HTTPS. Yeah, we see that now we no longer get that warning. If we go in here, it says connection is secure. However, if we switch to HTTP, this will still allow us to connect with no certificate, but what we will do next is add a redirect. So whenever we go to HTTP and react.vladsave.com, we get redirected to the HTTPS version. For this, we will need to make a change in the Nginx config. So if we go back to the SSH, we will be in opt bitnami, and then in here we need to go to Nginx. So inside the conf, we will have the configurations, and in here the main configuration file would be nginx.conf. And if we take a look at it, we see pretty much the configurations, and here we will make a change to this section. So we need to open it in an editor. Let's use Nano. If you're familiar with Emacs or Vim, you can use them. So we will do sudo nano nginx.conf, and in here we go to the bottom. Here we need to, instead of location status, we do location root /. We need to delete all these lines with Control K. And we just add a new line in here that says return 301, which is the HTTP status for redirect. And here we do HTTPS and then host with the $host and then request _ URI, and then we put a semicolon. And now we just do, actually I don't know why this red line, yeah, probably there were some spaces instead of tabs or something. Okay, so once it looks like this, we can write the file. It says here Control O, write the file, enter. It's good, and now we just do Control X to exit. We check again that we have our config. So now we just need to restart the Nginx server to pick up this new configuration, and it will be a tool, I think, in opt bitnami, that one, ctl scripts.sh. So we need to run it with sudo again. So if we do status, it shows us what services are running. So we have MariaDB, which is a database included in this deployment, PHP, FPM, and Nginx. And we can stop MariaDB if we're not using it. We do control ctl script.sh stop MariaDB. So now if we do another status, it will say not running, and we do restart and Nginx. Okay, so now if we can try it out. here if we try to go to http.react.vladsave.com, we can see that I think we got redirected to HTTPS. Now it says connection is secure, which is exactly what we wanted. So yeah, this will be the end of this tutorial. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And there are more videos related to this one on this channel. I hope you liked it. See you next time.